We living life, we in the basement. It's a new day.
Direct cu a doua. Cam sketchy, cam sketchy. Greșeala mea. Yeah, show me how it's done. Whoa! Vezi ce diferență? Hi guys, this is Andrei from Motoroute, and today I want to discuss a little bit about this gem. It's the Kove 800 Rally, the ultra-light adventure tourer that everybody wants to discuss about it, to diss her, to say that the Chinese are lying about its weight, but the truth being said, it is really a light adventure motorcycle. And this is not going to be a regular review, because I just took the motorcycle from the local dealer here in Romania. It's called Motosfera, and we are going to take it to a very interesting adventure riders challenge. It's something that is happening regularly in Romania at the beginning of the season. Adventure riders gather around on a kind of Romanian style course, testing their machines and their skills. Unfortunately, I'm not very skilled, even though I might have rubbed shoulders with Mani Ganesh, the Dakar legend and multiple times Male Moto winner. I got a chance once to ride with Stefan Peteranzel, and also I've rubbed shoulders at the dinner table with Paul Tares, but unfortunately nothing stuck with me. Fuck! So I'm just a regular rider, and just to set the record straight, I own the Tenere 700 2025 edition. I also own some time ago the 2022 edition. I've ridden the Kove 800 X Pro, the standard version, let's say. Also, I did the Roadbook Adventure Challenge type of event with the Kove 450 Rally. And this is the baseline from which I will be describing how this Kove 800 Rally feels. So here we are, guys, at TCS Racing Park, the venue where this event, Adventure Riders Challenge, is taking place. We're actually in the second date of the event. On the first day, we registered the motorcycle. We put the racing sticker on it, because if it's their competition, then you have to have a racing number. We put the transponder to count the time for each lap, and I took off the mirrors of the motorcycle, because that's the only thing that I did. I'm very confident on the Chinese. I think they made a very robust motorcycle that you can use in this kind of event straight out of the box. Also, yesterday we had the briefing. The guys here at TCS Racing let us know the routes, some safety measures, and also each of the categories got a chance to learn the track. We had 1 hour session for each category, and when I'm saying category, you have to know that this event has 2 tracks basically. One is the easy track for big adventure motorcycles, hobby riders and girls. It should be the easy track, but actually these guys at TCS are putting us through a lot of work, even though you are doing the easy route. And the hard track for the light adventure bikes, like the Kove 800 Rally and the rally riders. So we also have some professional rally riders and motocross riders around us, which make things even more interesting, because these guys really know how to ride fast in these conditions compared to me. And we got a chance to do some laps. I managed to do 2 laps yesterday, and it was very brutal, because the hard track compared to the easy one has some special sections, some very technical sections that make you feel a little bit like Paul Tares, but you will wake up very fast from that dream when you have a hard landing. And one important thing is that last night it rained here, so we will have a lot of mud, especially in the forest section. and also in this pit below me. That would make things very tricky on the track today, and that's why I have my doubts, let's say. I mean, I just want to survive this event, to be honest. I'm not a pro rider. So for now, let me share with you a little bit the atmosphere inside this event, and after that I'll come back with my impression, my thoughts on the Kove 800 rally.
We in the basement, it's in the day. I'm going to waste it until you fall. Just say I'm not yours. I need you up. I think it's magic. I think it's magic. I think it's fake. Just need to do it. I'm coming out. I'll say some good. I think you keep.
Hop. Nu știu când trebuie asta ca să... Era, mă! Da, mă, 3, 2, 1 și... Opa! Ia! Începutul e greu. Hai, bagă-te! Hai, da chinezul! Da. Opa! 3, 2, 1 și... Pinge-te în ea! Vezi ce diferență? If you enjoyed the video so far and you found some useful information, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel in order to be up to date with the latest news from the motorcycling world and have access to this kind of fair reviews. So here we are at the end. Even though I'm wearing the finisher medal, doesn't tell the whole story, because unfortunately on the first lap I had an incident where I decided to do a little bit of tuning on the front side. I lost the windshield, but more important, I lost the clutch lever, and this made very difficult to go through the track. I managed to do one full lap just to get the feeling of it, but was very tired, so I decided to withdraw from the competition. Now, coming back to the motorcycle, well, I wouldn't go through the full specs of the motorcycle because you can Google it. Probably the first thing that comes to your mind when we are talking about the Kove rally, it's the weight. And I'm telling you, it really feels lighter than the Tenere 700. I'm telling this because I own the Tenere. This mainly is because the tank has been moved somewhere in this area, and this helps a lot also on the distribution of the mass. Here, even though it looks like a tank, here is the airbox. So when you fall, because I've tested this a lot in the last 2 days, it is very easy to get the bike up. And this is the first thing that you feel. After that, when you are riding it, when you want to change direction very fast, we had some tight corners on the track today. It is very fast to move it from one side to the other. I'm telling you, the weight is the major selling factor of this motorcycle. After that, a difference from the standard 800X Pro are the tires, which on this model are not tubeless. They are from CST. I think they are decent. They are not great on the asphalt and not terrible in the off-road. I tested it through mud, to sand, to rocks, through gravel. It sticks quite good, it has some traction. You have only one brake disc on the front. Is that enough? I would say yes, because you have to take into consideration also the weight. On off-road, you don't want to have a very bitey front brake. However, I wasn't very content with the rear brake. For me, it felt like the traveling distance of the foot lever, it's a little bit too much. I couldn't feel it very well on the steep downhill sometimes. Maybe it's from the tires. It seems like they didn't grab how I would have wanted to grab the terrain. But again, I think this is related to the tires, and my personal preference is usually change the standard tires and put on some Dunlop Trail Ride Max, or even go directly extreme to Dunlop D908RR, which are some very competitive tires for this kind of events. Going a little bit up, you have the suspension, which have a very big travel distance. The setup is from the factory. I didn't change anything. Even though you have a long travel, the suspension feels firm. I weigh around 105 kilograms, roughly to 110, 150 with all the gear on me. It feels a little bit better than the Tenere. I dare to say that. And I would say that it feels more planted. However, when you are going on the asphalt, when you are doing touring on the street, it feels a little bit too harsh, too firm for me. And also related to this roughness, we come to the most worst offender, let's say, in my opinion, in my experience. The only thing that I didn't like about this motorcycle was the way the accelerator reacts. It still have that snatchy on-off feeling that it had also on the first generation of 800X Pro. I understood that for this year, for the 800X Pro, they switched to a ride-by-wire acceleration and they have 5 riding modes. However, for the rally version, you still have the direct cable acceleration. You have 2 riding modes, Sport and Eco, but still it feels snatchy, for my taste at least, even though I am used to the snatchiness of the Yamaha Tenere 700, both the direct cable and also the ride-by-wire version, the 2025 that I have at home. However, in this case, this was for me the major pain point, because I couldn't control very much the acceleration when we were doing technical stuff inside the forest. I told you there were some very closed curves. If I wanted to go on second gear, I have to control it with the clutch a little bit, feather the clutch, and the acceleration was popping too hard for me, even though I put it in eco mode. Other than that, I think that this bike has been designed exactly for this kind of events. In Romania, besides this Adventure Riders Challenge, we also have a lot of road book experience, road book adventure challenge, some events where you go in the mountains and you are using a road book to navigate through harsh terrain. Also, we have Romaniacs that from last year has included an adventure class. And speaking about Romaniacs, we also have a guy, Alin, that has ridden the 800 rally last year in Romaniacs and also has taken part to this event together with me. And unfortunately, last year in the Romaniacs, he had an issue with the rear shock brake at one point. At that time, he was going very fast. I think it was in the top 5 or something in the light adventure category, if I'm not mistaken. But unfortunately, due to that issue, he had to do some workaround and lost a lot of time. But again, there were a lot of other motorcycles that had issues with the shocks at Romaniacs. It's the hardest hard enduro event, so there your motorcycle will take a real beating. Today, unfortunately, he had again an issue. For some reason, when he was getting to the last lap, the engine stopped. a lot of blue smoke from what I understood, a smell of burnt oil. Currently, we don't know what happened with the motorcycle. We are going to take it to the local Kove dealer here in Romania and inspect it and see what happened. We suspect that for some reason, because it was a lot of mud on the track, maybe there were some heating issues, maybe it didn't cool enough. We'll see what happened. Or another thing that we were suspecting, and this is related to one of the culprits of this motorcycle, we are suspecting that the skid plate might have bashed into the engine case, because on this motorcycle the skid plate is fixed directly on the engine case, and if you are hitting very hard a rock, it might break the engine case and you can lose all the oil. This is one of the culprits of this model. However, if you want to put on some add-ons, some crash bars, especially for different skid plates, this will solve this issue and you will mitigate this risk. In the meantime, Alin discovered what caused his engine to stop. The issue is related to the aftermarket skid plate that he installed just before this competition. It's an Uncle Wang skid plate, and the issue is that the mounting bracket that this skid plate uses is not very strong. During the race, due to repeated shocks, it bended a little bit and the screws punctured the engine case, causing all the oil to leak out of the engine. So my advice would be to stay away from this skid plate in order to avoid similar issues. I'm telling you this just to know what is the experience so far. And about this, it would be very useful if you are an owner of a Kove 800 X Pro or the rally version, to tell me in the comments your experience. I know these motorcycles are very popular in the United States, also in Europe they're getting some traction. The 450 is a very common motorcycle to go on trips in Africa to simulate a little bit the old Dakar route, and I think we are getting to a critical mass of users that can tell us what are the issues that they faced in the past, what were the pros, what were the cons, and this is what I want to hear from you in the comments. So let me know, if you are owner of a Kove motorcycle, what issues have you experienced so far, because being a new brand, it takes some time to progress. Speaking about the touring capacity, when you are riding this motorcycle on street, I would say that this hasn't been designed to do this. It feels a little bit rough, especially if you are going constant around 100, 110, 20 kilometers. It's somewhere between, I think, 3,000, 4,000 RPMs and also close to the 6,000 RPMs that you feel the engine rocking. It's a normal thing for two cylinders. Similar to the Crossplane 2 engine from Yamaha, but for Yamaha, because they had a lot of years to improve this design, it doesn't feel this way. This is something that you usually feel on the KTM, on the CF Moto, also on the Aprilia Touareg. At one point at the beginning, you also were feeling this rocking motion at a certain RPM. Unfortunately, this is something that can be nagging for somebody that looks for a smooth touring. Other than that, the thing that I didn't like, the mirrors. I would say they don't have the best shape to see behind you, but this is something very simple that can be solved. You can order different mirrors and you're set. All this being said, I think this motorcycle is best for people that really know how to ride and have some experience in the rally ride department, in motocross, and these adventure events, that really know how to give it the full beans. When you are in attack mode, this bike feels very comfortable. However, if you are a beginner, the snatchiness of the engine might upset you, because when you are a beginner, you want to have some error space, just like the error that the Tenere 700 offers. For example, when you are in the second gear at low speeds, you will not feel the engine stalling on you. Here you have to be very careful with the clutch. Where you are around at 20-25 kilometers per hour, you need to feather the clutch in second gear in order not to stall the engine. These were my 72 hours with the Kove 800 Rally. I hope you enjoyed this clip as much as I did this event, and I'm very curious if you test rode this motorcycle or the 800 Pro. Let me in the comments what do you think about this motorcycle, and if you are thinking maybe to change a little bit towards the Chinese makers in the near future in order to understand how these bikes position